What's going on, everyone? So, Mike Malone and the Denver Nuggets are in the NBA Finals right now and very likely are going to win the NBA Finals. I think they will. I think that they are the better team than Miami. I really want Jimmy Buckets to get the NBA championship. And look, Denver is tied 1-1 with the Miami Heat. Miami is the first team to beat Denver in Denver, which is huge. And now they got two games in Miami. But I think ultimately, I think Denver will win one of those two games and then be tied 2-2 heading back to Denver. So I do think that Miami, I don't think that they have enough to beat Denver. I think Denver has just too much firepower. It took Denver basically playing the worst game that they've played all season and still had an opportunity to win. I just don't see them losing this series. And regardless, you have a head coach that is in the NBA Finals that is tied 1-1, and he might be extremely confident. He might have all the confidence in the world, and he may look at it as like, hey, we're going to win this. It's all good. But he still has a lot that he needs to focus on, a lot of things that need to be on his mind when it comes to the team and the situation that he's in and Miami and game planning and doing head coaching stuff. But instead, this guy spends more time talking about the Lakers and having the Lakers clearly live rent-free in his head than like the media, than like Laker stands, than Laker fans, than channels like myself. I mean, Mike Malone talks more about the Lakers than the Lakers talk about the Lakers, right? More than like LeBron talks about the Lakers. It is unbelievable how much real estate the Lakers take up in Mike Malone's head. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody like played a prank on him in the Lakers organization. He shot his shot at Jeannie and she turned him down. I don't know what it is, but this dude is just so dramatic when it comes to the Lakers. Now, he's had numerous moments throughout the playoff series where they play together where he was crying about like, oh, we're up 1-0 and everybody's talking about the Lakers. Yeah, because Mike Malone, you're irrelevant. What have you done? You haven't done anything yet. You still haven't won. I think that they're going to win, but he hasn't done anything as a head coach other than, you can make an argument, underachieve tremendously. So, like, what have you done to where people want to talk about you? You're not a winning coach, right? I mean, there's coaches like Nick Nurse. You never hear people talk about Nick Nurse, and he's won an NBA championship, right? Like, there's plenty of coaches. Denver was a team that just, yes, they were the number one seed, but there were so many times this year where they just looked completely out of focus, completely just uninterested, looked like a team that was in shambles at times. The defense is still terrible. Like, there's a lot of that stuff goes to coaching. So, like, why aren't you focused on getting your team ready? And instead, you just ended up playing the Miami Heat, and all of those issues that Denver had just showed in the last game. And if they continue to play like that, which we've seen stretches this year where they've played like that, if Mike Malone loses this series, he can kiss his job goodbye. The way that teams are firing coach, if he loses in the NBA Finals this year, oh, he's gone. He's gone. It's the third largest favorite in NBA history as far as like winning the NBA Finals. I mean, and Mike Malone is spending all this time just letting the Lakers just continue to stack real estate. This dude, every opportunity he has, is crying about the Lakers. Like, are you jealous? Go be an assistant on the Lakers. Like, what do you focus on your team? Worry about Denver. You haven't played the Lakers in weeks. Like, why are you worried about a team that isn't even in the playoffs? You beat them. Congrats. Look, Denver deserves a world of credit. Denver swept the Lakers, and, they absolutely deserved it. They were the best team in the Western Conference. They did their job. Credit them. Lakers have credit them. Everybody has credit them. The media has credit them. The media has taken them and said that they're going to be the favorites. Right? Like, I mean, it's just, what more do you want? Like, everyone thinks you're going to win the NBA championship. You ran through the Lakers. It was a tough series, don't get me wrong, but you ran through them in 4 games. And yet you still can't keep the Lakers out of your mouth. Right? Like, so he gets some picture of like him smiling or whatever, and he's in like the Western Conference shirt, it looks like, And he says, like, I look pretty happy there. What about that night? Or what happened that night? Do you remember? Question mark, asking the person that handed him the picture. Something about a broom in a sweep. I don't know. Mike Malone, after being handed a picture of him from the Nuggets beating the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Like, look, I get that it's like, you know, it's a little jab. It's sports. Like, you talk your talk. Like, look, Denver earned it. Denver deserves it, right? Like, he does. Like, talk your talk. You won, right? So you absolutely deserve it. Lakers didn't. But, like, where was all this talk the last time you guys faced each other? You were real quiet when the Lakers smacked you, right? Like, you know, it's lack of consistency. Like, you have bigger things. If it was the offseason, if it was whatever, right, and you won the chip, you're feeling yourself, like, yeah, okay, fine. But you're tied 1-1 against the AC Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. Like, you're in the finals. Focus on that. Like, why are you worried about what's going on with the Lakers and talking about the Lakers? And it's not just like, look, if he just was going about his business and, you know, you had the picture and all that stuff and, you know, he didn't say all the other prior stuff, like, nobody would care. I wouldn't even be making this video. You know, like, hey, that's a funny joke. I feel it, right? You did. You swept, got the picture. You deserve it. Talk your talk. I have no problem. You hear me say it all the time on the show. I've even told people in, like, live streams, in the chats, like, hey, go ahead, talk your talk. You know, you earned it. I would be talking. The Lakers smacked Denver. I'd be talking my talk. You know, if they were up in the NBA Finals right now, I'd be talking my talk. That's part of sports. But it's like once a week, Mike Malone has something to say about the Lakers, and he hasn't played the Lakers in like weeks. And it's like, and look, the Lakers are the Lakers. They're always going to be in the headlines. They are tied for the most NBA championships all time. They're in Los Angeles. They have the most polarizing player in NBA history next to maybe Michael Jordan. And, you know, like, they are, in many ways, the NBA. They're the biggest name, biggest brand in the NBA. So, of course, media and narratives and conversations and this and that are going to be about that. Not just that, but the Lakers are in the offseason, and you have a million storylines that could happen. That's why I love being a Laker channel creator, right? Because there's always something to talk about, right? Like, I make several videos a day, and when I started this, I was like, God, okay, I'd like to, you know, make a couple videos and, like, really kind of pump out content so that way I can try to grow fast, and it worked, right? It has. I've grown extremely fast. I'm almost 15K, which is amazing. Hasn't even been a year yet. And it's like, but, how am I really going to be able to pump out that many videos, a day? Am I going to be able to pump out 2 or 3 videos a day, every single day? And then I started doing it, and I was like, God, like, this is easy. Like, there's just so much stuff, whether it's rumors or news or speculation or reports about this, that, and the other, or LeBron or AD, right? It's the Lakers. There's always something to talk about with the Lakers. And that drives traffic, that drives clicks, that drives views, right? Like, I've been very open about this stuff when in live streams, people ask whatever. Like, I am a diehard Laker fan. I've always been a Laker fan. And when I started the Laker channel, I was like, I really believe the Laker channel will be very successful. And so far, it has been. It's been very successful. I've been growing very quickly, thanks to all of you. But the reason I thought it would be successful is because, one, I was like, okay, 2 things are going to happen. Either A, you're going to have a ton of people that are Laker fans that are going to come and comment and, like, and we're going to have conversations and all that stuff, and it's going to be great. And then you're going to have the other side where I'm going to get a ton of people that are just hating, talking smack, trolling, all that stuff because it's the Lakers, right? And that's exactly what this channel is. It's like half people trolling, half like people having a real conversation, and it benefits me either way because Lakers, right? People are clicking on the videos, people are watching the videos, right? And the reason I bring that up and the reason I talk about it is to highlight the fact that, like, that's the beauty of the Lakers. There's just so much draw, even from a small scale like myself. Now, what do you think ESPN and Fox and all these other things are thinking? What kind of Lakers story can we come up with today? That's what they're doing. I mean, you hear all this stuff about LeBron going to Dallas. That's just something to talk about for something to talk about. What are you going to talk about with the finals? You can't talk about the same thing every day with the finals, right? Like, okay, it's 1-1. You get out the conversations. Oh, this is what Denver did. This is what Miami did. Okay, and then you wait for the next game. Like, Denver isn't in the offseason where it's like, oh, well, they won, so do they keep everything intact? What about this? What about that? Or the other part of that is like, oh, well, they lost. Do they fire Mike Malone? Do they, start trading Murray? What do they do? And you start having all those conversations and narratives, which you will hear. When Boston lost, that was the conversation. When Memphis lost, that was the conversation. When the Warriors lost, that's still the conversation, right? Like, that's how it works. And Mike Malone is just so worried about everything else. Denver's a great team. You're in the NBA Finals. The last thing you should be worried about is the Lakers. And guess what? You have so many issues and complaints about the media and everybody talking about the Lakers, yet you continue to talk about the Lakers. Therefore, it becomes a Laker conversation because the media goes, oh, Mike Malone is taking jabs at the Lakers, blah, 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 blah. And it gives the media more Laker content to talk about. You're doing the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish. Worry about your team that is tied 1-1 and just lost in Denver. That has to go back to Miami. You don't think the players are like, players are trying to get locked in, players are trying to get focused, players are looking at the coach to kind of set the tone and establish stuff and, all this stuff. And you don't think they're like, dude, you're spending more time talking about the Lakers than you are game planning and worrying about the task at hand. Talk about the Lakers in the offseason since you love them so much. Win your championship and then quit and then go to the Lakers as an assistant or something. Like, it's just funny. It's just like once a week. I would be surprised at this point if by the time the finals are over or let's say they win the finals, I would be shocked. Or not shocked, I'm sorry. I'd be shocked if the opposite happened. I think Mike Malone says something about the Lakers. Something. It might just be like, oh, well, I wonder how much time we'll get on the news before they talk about the Lakers or whatever. Because that's literally what he's done the entire way. The entire way. Every opportunity he has where he's in front of some type of camera and microphone or whatever, he brings up the Lakers for something. Like, worry about the situation you have at hand. It's just so funny to me that the guy that is in the NBA Finals, the coach that is in the NBA, you don't hear the Lakers talking about Denver. You don't hear Miami talking about Boston. Miami's focused on the task at hand. That's why they just beat you in Denver. Because Miami and their head coach is worried about Denver. Not Boston, right? Or Milwaukee. They're worried about the team that they're playing right now. And Denver is worried about the Lakers. It's silly. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Whatever it is, love to hear it. Let me know.